You know who got a little bump?
Who?
Fox.
Oh, they did.
You know who else got a little bump?
Who, Tom Brady?
The Cowboys at the Browns week 1.
Yeah.
In the prime time.
You know who else got a big bump?
4:25 p.m. Eastern time window.
You know who got a big bump?
Who's that?
Greg Olsen.
Oh, yeah?
Big bump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Tom Brady has got that $37.5 million a year bump.
So somebody had to take the bump for that bump.
Well, he's going to be calling his first game.
Yep.
And it's going to be
Dallas,
Dak
Cleveland.
Prescott versus Deshaun Watson.
I thought it was
week
Micah
1.
Parsons versus who's the other guy again?
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
Myles
the
Garrett.
way that Tom Brady talked about it with Michael Strahan at Fox's Upfront 2024 event yesterday.
Were you there, Q?
I mean,
why weren't you there?
I am here now.
Okay.
So I've got some stuff I've got to do today. I did not hear that yesterday, though.
well, take a listen because he's already in peak analyst form, which I'm sure will, probably not sit well with some people in Dallas.
Uh-oh.
Obviously, having the Cowboys on is a huge draw. As America's team, that's going to get a little hard for me to say that all the time. I understand they were the competition for a long time. But in this new role, I know the Cowboys, how important they are to this network. They got great storylines. Come on, Dak Prescott, let's see if he can finally come through. One of the great defensive players. Did that just slip out?
Yikes, he's still on the roast.
Micah Parsons, what a great player he is, and Coach McCarthy. So I love covering them. I've been obviously going against them for a long time, and now I get to tell everyone how great they are.
Oh, I already like what you're doing, man. I already like it.
Yeah, that roast got to him.
Yeah, he's still roasting.
How many times did Tom Brady actually go up against Dallas?
Yeah,
Is that more of a joke?
And were they actually really good at any point in time that he was playing? Like, I think that was just more, I think that was more tongue-in-cheek. I mean, they haven't been good throughout the duration of Tom Brady's career. Like, it had came to an end. Our rookie year was coming to an end. And I ended it effectively. I mean, I sent Troy Aikman into retirement. So that was the end of that era as it applied.
I've got some numbers for you guys if you're interested. Tom Brady's career against the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, no.
7-0. 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. And the only loss, if I have this correct, is the playoff game, which I believe was his final game.
As a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
Yeah, that wild card game. So maybe that's why he's taking a little bit of a dig.
Oh, because that was his last loss.
Maybe that's what it is.
Interesting.
But regular season-wise, played well, 7-0. Never lost to Dallas, except for that one. So that's what we get from – and I do think it's kind of interesting that I think the recap of Tom Brady's performance is going to outweigh the recap of either Dallas or Cleveland. I think there's going to be more people interested in seeing how Tom Brady does as a broadcaster than maybe even how Deshaun Watson or Dak Prescott do as quarterbacks.
I don't disagree with that.
It's kind of wild.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, that's why you pay them all that money.
I was just thinking about, it's like 10 years from now. I mean, it's crazy. Tom Brady won a Super Bowl with Tampa. And by the way, like, that time that he spent in Tampa was probably as crazy as any time in his career. I just don't know that I'm ever going to think of him as a Tampa Bay Buck.
Yeah, he won.
Yeah. And he was great.
I will always envision him being in the AFC his entire career as a Patriot.
You know, it's crazy.
I almost forgot that he played in the NFC.
For me, him leaving and winning a Super Bowl is what I'll remember the most. Like, dang, he literally left and won a Super Bowl the next year.
Quite possibly during the hardest time to do it.
In the
COVID
history
and all
of
those
life.
Restrictions, right?
In the history of life. This dude was trying to go to national parks and they were sending him home.
That's amazing. What about when he knocked on the wrong person's house trying to go to Byron Leftwich's house?
He probably didn't even have a mask on. It's like, oh.
Can you imagine the person who answered the door? Like, it's Tom Brady at our house right now. Like, come on in. You want some cookies?
And by the way,
someone just goes and grabs a binder. Like, yeah, come on in. Here's the playbook. Let's go through this thing.
Now, when you guys think of Peyton Manning, what do you think of?
The Colts.
I think Broncos. So it's kind of the opposite.
Yeah, he played long enough, I think, in the Broncos too.
He did.
I mean, Brady was what, 2 years?
Brady was 3.
Yeah,
3.
And Manning was 4 years in Denver.
I mean,
That's it.
Yeah.
What I'd say about Peyton is only reason why I think the Colts stand out to me more most likely is because just I feel like the circumstances were different. Like nobody was sitting there like, was it Peyton Manning or was it his coach? Now I don't think there was any. I think the only drama that kind of played out with Peyton Manning is he washed because of his neck. And we're going to bring in Andrew Luck, and he's washed, and he wasn't washed. I mean, his ball didn't have as much velocity on it, but he wasn't washed all the way. He was good enough to go.
He also made it to 2 Super Bowls, though.
Right.
We kind of forget that. Like, he set records.
Yes.
He went to 2 Super Bowls there.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know.
He wasn't washed. I mean, but the way it was being portrayed when he was in Indianapolis is that he was washed. I mean, it was over. Like, hang it up. Like, you shouldn't be playing anymore. But I don't think that there was anything that would have made me feel like the reason why and I don't remember Tom more so as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. I clearly am with you on remembering him as a New England Patriot. I mean, he's part of the greatest dynasty ever in the history of our game. But the fact that everybody called him a system quarterback, that he wouldn't have been what he was without – Bill Belichick, which in a lot of ways you probably got to assume that that's very, very true. But in the end, that man left, took Gronk with him, and they won a Super Bowl. He took AB with him, took Gronk with him, won a Super Bowl coming out of a pandemic year. That I'll never forget that, because it to me, it said to me that Tom Brady's greatness exceeded anything that anyone tried to put him in box-wise, category-wise in New England. Like, to understand how difficult it is just to win your division, or how difficult it is to just win games in the playoffs, let alone just, hey, I'm going to go to a different team. This team has been pretty decent, not a great team. Just got rid of Winston. Needed a guy. They bring him in, and they go win a Super Bowl. Like, it took a dude that's great to be able to do that. Like, you can't – and listen, in the game itself, it was probably more so the defense and the way they played more so than what it was the offense.
Oh, Mahomes took a beating.
But let's be clear here. It still took Tom Brady being Tom Brady and his presence on that team for them to be able to get to where they got to. And that's what I always remember about him.
Yeah.
My litter mate, We were pups together, 2000, baby. He was the last of the Mohicans. Now we're all gone. Extinct.
Now he's part of the family.
There we go.
Yep.
Fox, baby.
Part of the Fox family.
So do you think he'll take the roast basically into the season for Fox?
Why not?
He's a method actor.
I think he
needs time.
Please don't be a method actor.
He's still living in the roast.
There's nothing worse.
I feel like he's going to be critical. Do you guys get that sense?
Yeah, I do too. Because if you heard him, remember he was talking about quarterback play, and he was really he spoke out about how
ripping
poor,
into it.
And how soft the game is getting too.
I think he's going to be a lot more critical than maybe people realize, because we assume he's going to play it safe and be right down the middle. Is he going to be And I don't think, because who's going to be able to tell him or try and drop the how would you know? Dude, he's the greatest ever. He could say whatever the hell he wants. Michael
and
Jordan.
What are you going to say?
Yeah, you can't say anything. I think he's gonna let it fly a little bit, which is gonna be fun and probably piss some people off. So, and who knows? Maybe he'll.
It'll just be a very big contrast to Greg Olsen. That's the difference, I'd say.
Because he's super positive.
Yeah, Greg
and complimentary.
Yeah, I would say he can be critical, but for the most part, he was really super positive while he was calling those games.
Yeah. Well, listen, congratulations, Tom Brady. Welcome into the family, and it'll be fun to watch. He gets Massage Watson, Dak Prescott to start out his Fox broadcasting career.
Wow.
So, off and running.